From a local South American derby, we're crossing continents. Africa and Asia contest the second semi-final. Hong Kong, China up against of the leg in Dubai 7 weeks ago. There are defibrillators on hand for Uruguayan fans. That was tense. And Chile crestfallen for Los Condores. But now, the second semi-final. Who will face Uruguay in the showpiece in Montevideo tonight? Well, a very warm welcome to you wherever you're watching on from around the world. If you're burning the midnight oil in Hong Kong at 3 a.m., then welcome to you. And if you're in Kenya and you're staying up late, 10 p.m. kickoff time, it's excellent to have your company. These are the two starting sevens for both teams. And Hong Kong really have been the pace setters in Montevideo this weekend. Their perfect record. They've played so impressively across all corners. It's not been as easy for Kenya. Peter Martin of Ireland is in the middle. And there may well be drama from an officiating standpoint as well, as we saw in the last match to contend with. Red cards, high shots. It was all out there. And we're going to see that again. So Kenya, the Shuja pride, get us going. Wonderful take in the air from Hong Kong. Can they begin the semi-final with the characteristic flair and composure that we've seen from them and the characteristic power of Max Denmark? 5 tries in the competition so far from Big Max, and he's looking to dust off defenders here again. Kenya players hanging on for dear life against Max Denmark, who has come tooled up to play in this semi-final. A statement of venomous intent from Max Denmark. And Hong Kong with the nudge to touch afterwards. Kenya having got to this stage by beating Tonga in their last match in the quarterfinals. It was a good match to prepare for Hong Kong. Hong Kong now with this line out. They rise highest, take it off the top. Here's Kato Lee. Kato Lee reaches for the line, gets there. The pocket dynamo, Kato Lee for Hong Kong. That engine, the oldest player in the squad, still ticking over nicely. Hugo Styles, the top marksman with the boot here in Montevideo, knocks over the first score of the second semi-final. And this is all about set-piece excellence and running lines and then power. And Kato Lee packs so much of it. Lovely link play from Seb Bryan, the captain. Said Kenya were facing Tonga in their semi-final. They, of course, faced Uganda, winning that one 7 points to 5. Hong Kong beating Tonga in theirs. And that was good preparation for them in facing another very physical outfit in the semi-final in Kenya. And Kenya's only blemish to their copybook here was a loss to Georgia in the group stages. But they haven't quite had that sparkle that they showed in Dubai. They haven't had Patrick Odongo, of course, all that speed in their ranks, and it has shown. Max Denmark takes it at first receiver again, proving himself to be all manner of handfuls for Kenya. Denmark wins a penalty again just from his physicality. He's been on the scene for so long, Max Denmark. Debut back in 2017 for Hong Kong, China. But I can't say I've ever seen him in this kind of mood before. There is real flaring of the nostrils about Max Denmark in Montevideo. And Hong Kong looking to replicate that set-piece excellence. Kado Lee. And he's going through, said Brian, all the way. Scragged back, 5 meters short. Hong Kong looking to double their money early on. Kado Lee to Max Denmark. 3 players close down Denmark. Penalties here. Kado Lee is off and running again, looking for his second. He delays the pass and gets a few more meters. And a second try through guile, through sleight of hand. Wonderfully done. Kado Lee is leading Hong Kong into the heart of Kenya and taking a second score. 6 for the weekend now for Kado Lee. And Styles does what he does so well. 14 points to 0. Hong Kong have started just as they've been in every single match so far. Absolutely at the speed that they need to be at. And taking apart Kenya so far. And for everyone else, it's time to party, to dance off that tension from the last match for Uruguayan fans. This one with less on the line for them, but no doubt interesting to inform the conversations before the final. And Kenya now with a chance to play and to show what they're about here, and stepping through and doing so well goes Nigel Amaitsa. Amaitsa's burst down the left-hand flank is now reworked, and they're refashioning this attack, Kenya. Back to their old selves here all of a sudden. Kenya causing problems for Hong Kong. Vincent Onyala with the pass. In the scrum hat, they go back to the blind side with John Okoth. Samuel Asati. Onyala says no to the right-hand side, then goes back to it. Liam Herbert putting his shoulder to the wheel in defence. Onyala, big pass, zipping pass from the big man. And now they again go onto Amaitsa, and then the straighten is a good one. There's space here for Kevin Wakesa, who gets the offload. Onyala will get Kenya back into things and sharing the sugar, beautifully so, with Lamek Ambetsa. Ambetsa so fast, and he head up into the wing mirrors of big Vincent Onyala and said, "Can I get in on the act?" You sure can, son. And the points after is good. And Kenyan fans in the stands now have something to play with, to talk about and to dance with. Wakesa's offload was so secure, he didn't risk anything. Look at Ambetsa, just whispering in the ear. Kickoff doesn't go 10. So Hong Kong will have it back, and strike play opportunity before half-time. But instead they want the line out, rather than the scrum back on centre field, or even the tap and go. And you can see why, it's quite canny play from Hong Kong China. This is, of course, what set them up for their first score, and it's a similar play to get the ball moving into Hugo Styles' hands, and Styles, the pint-sized poacher, goes up the middle. Herbert dodging. Styles now has to clear the ball out. Penalty comes. Styles now takes off the running mask and puts on his kicking shoes. Nudges that down. It's a good nudge too from Styles. Great chance for Hong Kong China to take this into half-time at 3-1. And from that position, Kenya will be in a tricky old corner. Kado Lee goes to the middle, and it's there, reaching for the line. They get number 3. And again, it's that set piece sensation. Callum McCulloch, Big Cal they call him. And he used every inch of his long levers to reach and dive and score.
Half time, lads. Half time.
Styles doesn't seem to miss here in Montevideo. He's got the posts lasered in. Good step forward, and so many hours on the training paddock for Hong Kong, China to make this look easy. And they've made the first half look easy against the Dubai. 21 points to 7. The World Series in 2025. And Hong Kong know all about heartache in that bid over the years. So it's already been a good weekend of work for Hong Kong, China. Can it get much better? And they can book themselves a ticket for the final where they'll face Los Teros of Uruguay, who've just beaten Chile. The athleticism to claim that for Kenya is so commendable. And now they'll work this to the edge. They keep their distance here and keep their depth and hammer into contact with Kevin Wakesa. Lambeck and Betza gets the ball moving back into the 22. And then John Okoth. Hong Kong, China patient in defense. Not looking to land big shots on Kenya here. Well, they do now, though, in the form of Liam Doherty. Denmark is on the defensive side here, tracking back on Okoth. Penalty coming. Offside the call. There's Jevon Groves, hails from Pontypridd in Wales.
Offside. Okay. Scrum called.
James Christie. Man who knows a thing or two about scoring tries in important semi-finals. His try in the Asian Games defeated Japan in last year's Asian Games triumph for Hong Kong, China.
Just make sure you stay in the scrum. Yeah, stay in the scrum. Time back on.
Los Teros players, as you can see in the background, signing shirts and rugby balls in the stands.
Bind.
Hong Kong desperate to be facing those celestial blue jerseys in the big show later tonight. On day 3 in Montevideo. It's been a long weekend of sevens for these teams, but there's so much on the line still. Business to be done. There is time running out, though, for Kenya. They need to be on the money at every opportunity now. Thwarted again. I heard Jevon Groves at the halftime break saying they're going to get 2 chances. Kenya, they'll get 2 chances in this second half to score. Was this one of them, and has it just been thwarted?
Time off. Red 10. Red 10. Sub.
So Nigel Amaitsa, who just carried that ball into contact, but ran out of options,
Stay in the scrum. Time back on.
being switched.
Crouch. Bind. Set. Let's go.
Caroli with the hands to Styles. Puts his yellow boots through this. Chases after it and does well. What a kick from Hugo Styles.
Mark.
Such a clever footballer. His reintroduction to the team after Dubai has been
Sub.
overwhelmingly positive.
Red 99. Yeah, time back on.
Samuel Asati with this line out. Kenya needing big things to happen quickly. Over the top they go. It's going to land for them, but not straight from Asati.
Red 6 sub. Scrum called.
So another small but influential moment goes the way of Hong Kong, China.
Watch here, sir.
The man with the ball in his hands, Kado Lee, the two-try scorer in this match, so experienced, 32 years of age now, made his debut back in Hong Kong in 2013, all those years ago, and now he might be leading them to a final on the Challenger Series circuit. Styles. Doherty. Doherty goes round the edge, puts him in a big fend, does Liam Doherty. Keeps it alive for Styles. Pinched by George Uro on Yala. Desperation creeping in perhaps to the way Kenya are throwing this ball around, but then again, that style, that chaotic style, can be so devastating when they get it right on the edge, and just too much for George Uro.
Thanks, Carl. Sub. Red 9.
It's oppressive from
Black 20.
Hong Kong, China. Putting the squeeze on in every way, psychologically, with the way they're steaming up in defense, and yet not committing as well.
Okay, time off. Let's go.
Really patient.
Red
Fong
20,
Kit
let's
Fung,
go. Thank you.
who in patches as well in this competition has been a strike runner. This set piece will be being watched so closely by Uruguay as to how they can stop it. They're such a well-drilled team, Hong Kong, China. Now Max Denmark draws in two defenders, gives it to Styles. Fong Kit Fung lines up a big shoulder on the left edge. Denmark, perfect passing to Kado Lee. Liam Herbert's little reach for it now on Nardoni, who shows his wheels on the outside. Alessandro Nardoni. Penalty Kenya for holding on the floor. Alessandro Nardoni's got to release that ball so that Kenya can at least have a fair contest for it on the floor. He doesn't.
Six offside.
So penalty against Hong Kong, China. So few penalties that Hong Kong, China do give away. Can Kenya make the most of his 90 seconds to play? 14 points down on the scoreboard. Magic needs to happen, and it needs to happen soon. And stepping through a couple of tackles go Kenya again, and here comes Selem Adoyo. Adoyo over. He's the break glass in case of emergency man for Kenya. And Selem Adoyo has given them a foothold and possibly a way back into this match. This kick's so important. Has to go over. It has. 7 points the difference for Kenya. This semi-final has life in it yet. And Kenya, the Shuja pride, with Selem Adoyo zoning in on the try line. Taking the restart, not quite now. Sayers is breaking away. Harry Sayers steps out of a tackle. Precious seconds being eaten up for Hong Kong, China. Penalty to Kenya. 17 seconds on the clock. Omondi called back. He wants to go. Anthony Omondi flipped over to the try scorer, Selem Adoyo. And now Ojwang. Now he's broken the deadlock before on debut in this tournament for Kenya. Can he do it again? The Shuja pride are roaring, and they're playing their best rugby of the match. It goes forward. Hong Kong, China hold on. The whistle goes, and they're through to the final. The side who started play 2 days ago in the finest of form have continued that all the way to the final. They will face, in the final, Uruguay.